Second, and first we have BeSpree. So we have Erica. She has an awesome background in the corporate environment and data analytics. Recently completed the NCIDEA Labs program, which is where I met her, and she's super excited to tell you about her new wellness platform, BeSpree. So give it up for Erica.
All right, thank you. Just want to do a quick sound check. Can everyone hear me in the back? Yes. All right, excellent. Okay, again, my name is Erica Cerwin. I am founder and CEO of BeSpree. First, I wanted to start off. Who likes to be defined by a chronic condition? I don't see a large number of hands going up. So let me tell you a little bit about BeSpree and our purpose. So we are in the business of helping individuals improve their quality of life through in-person trusted health and wellness activities. So when you think about currently the chronic condition epidemic in America, and we'll talk a little bit about the market size, there are 1 in 2 Americans that have a chronic condition, and over 65 that grows to 3 out of 4. So what we are in the business of doing is making sure that folks recognize that there is a journey towards health, and we want to be a part of helping them through that process. So let me first talk about the problem. So I think everyone in here is aware, and I know health and wellness is a big draw, but businesses lose money when individuals do not have a good quality of life. And so I don't think I need to go into all of the details, but specifically when BeSpree thinks about early adopters and who our customers are, let's just focus for a second on hospitals. So if any of these issues come up regarding readmissions due to value-based care, there's a financial burden that hospitals take on. This isn't just a problem in hospitals, although we'll go into some of the specifics of the costs that they incur. There are also employees that miss work as a result of chronic conditions. I think everyone's aware of the other two, insurers, but lastly, and most importantly, the individuals who are suffering as a result of their chronic condition. So I think folks know this, but if not, I just wanted to briefly mention this stat. So 50% of an individual's health is defined by lifestyle, and by that I mean nutrition and exercise. So we have wonderful, especially in our area here in Durham, opportunities to have wonderful medical care. But when you're diagnosed with diabetes, when you go home, it's on you as the patient to try and find a way to come up with a solution to have better nutrition and be healthy. So what is BeSpree? BeSpree offers a way to connect individuals with healthy living activities. So if you look at the matrix on the screen here, this is just an example of how there are many chronic conditions that require patients or individuals to connect to activities. And there's actually a commonality. There are common health goals across rehab patients, there are diabetics, hypertension patients. And so the idea is that BeSpree is creating a platform that provides a variety of activities so that individuals can be free of being defined by their health condition. And this is also going to be done, and we'll show you specifically more about the solution, but through a very easy technology. So first off, I know folks might want to know a little bit of some data, so let's just talk about the 23 million Americans today that have diabetes. This slide is pretty popular. 4 minutes. Okay, good. Cut through 2. So there are 23 million individuals in the U.S. that have diabetes. Obviously, increasing their participation in these activities will increase their quality of life, and research is linking higher adherence to group-based exercise programs. So here we are just quickly showing the projections. It's, of course, an epidemic that folks are aware of, so we'll just go ahead and move on from this slide. So a little bit about the product, right? So we're helping folks in order to explore and discover schedule and engage in these healthy living activities. So there's several features listed up here on the screen, and we can always go back to this during the Q&A. So what is the business model of BeSpree? So what we're offering is a cross-platform mobile app that is connecting these individuals to group activities. And this is being done through the businesses, through the hospitals, through the insurers, through the organizations that have a real business obligation because of the cost, the rising cost, to be able to help these individuals become healthier. So just the last slide, and then I will stop here, but just wanted to quickly talk a little bit about the competition. So this is in terms of end users, right? Everyone's being inundated with solutions in health and wellness. So where we see ourselves and where we don't. So I'll just take a quick second to talk about that. So a lot of the solutions today focus on you as the individual, doing your step counts, doing things on your own. If you go to the American Diabetes website, they say go join a meetup group. So where is the customization and the focus on the individual? And that's where BeSpree comes in. So it's providing a breadth of activities so that you find what individuals are interested in doing at the day and time that they want to do it. There's location, there's a bunch of features that we can talk about that really draw in the individual user. But also it is in-person group. So it's not taking the Fitbit approach of tracking just your goals, but it's saying, I want to be socially connected to a group, and that has been shown to increase adherence in some of these activities. So thank you so much for your time, and just to end with, again, BeSpree, be healthy, be free, BeSpree.
We're going to open it up to questions, and are we? Yep. We'll start with the microphone, and then we'll move to our cue ball. Oh, we've got an extra. There you go. Oh, we're ready.
We're ready.
You get to
Listen,
start
I have a voice. I don't need a microphone. Hey, look at
That's
this.
part of it. You just got to hold still.
Hello.
There you go.
So is there an opportunity for BeSpree to integrate with payers, so that way members can get credit for doing this work, going to yoga, going to individual classes, that kind of stuff, because more payers are actually paying members to stay healthy and reduce their drug costs?
Right. No, that's a great question, and yes, that was one of the customer segments that was there on the screen. So one of the exciting concepts is that if there were incentives offered through insurers to their member base, that would continue to encourage youth behavior. So that can you hear me? Sorry, I don't have the microphone close to my.
I can get you the ball.
I would actually love the ball.
No, we need to throw the ball.
Ball's fun.
The question?
So yes, in answer to your question, insurance would be a great customer for BeSpree.
Quick question about the diabetes. When you said 23 million, was that type 1 or type 2?
That's a great question. I think it's both, but I'll check. So in type 1 I'm sorry, that is type 2. That is type 2.
That is type 2. But there's a lot of, I like what you're doing, because there's a lot of things people can do to help themselves. I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes type 2, and that day I said I'm going to stop eating sugars, and I cut my sugars way down. About 6 months later, they undiagnosed me. It's been 6 years now. So there's a lot of things individuals can do to help their diabetes and things like that. So I like what you're doing, and getting more people together. Sometimes it will take groups. And, people like to do things that others around them are doing, so it's a good thing. Could you just give me one or two examples of what someone who had just been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes would do in your program?
Oh, that would be great, yes. So the way that you would enter into the platform, and I would love to talk to you afterwards. We've got the ball being passed around in the space. But I would love to talk to you afterwards. And what a great example of someone taking control of their own health. And I would love to know what you did to be empowered to do that. So in terms of a use case or an example, so you're diagnosed, let's just say you're over at Duke and you're diagnosed with diabetes. So you're hearing a lot about what you cannot do anymore. And so the idea is that through your hospital system, you would then be asked to opt in to a program with BeSpree, and that's where you would download the app and then be able to access activities going on locally in your area. So you would be able to find activities based on your location. So let's just say the individual was based in Cary, North Carolina. It would allow that individual then, when they go home, especially if they don't have sidewalks in their neighborhood. I mean, some folks are being asked to do walks, but there's no sidewalks in their area. So find local activities where they can engage in these healthy behaviors. And it's not just physical activities, it's, like you mentioned, dietary as well. So being able to provide access to activities that help with diet and understanding and being educated about healthy ways to eat. Other questions?
Yeah, so could you talk a little bit about the process for involving providers who are, for example, as a personal trainer and managing a training center, what's the process? Are there incentives that that providers get through participating in BeSpree? What's the process of signing up, and what does that participation look like from the provider standpoint?
And by provider, you just mentioned that you're in your
for the
physical
fitness,
training.
I guess for the fitness aspect of it, or the nutritionist aspect,
Okay.
for those people who are actually going to be doing the actual providing the help and assistance for these people.
Right.
How are you going to involve them, and how are you going to get them involved, and what does that look like?
Yes, so we are planning on launching in July, so I actually also want to come and talk to you afterwards as well. So one of the exciting opportunities, we have so many wonderful people that are out here trying to think about holistic health. Sorry, I'm not talking into the microphone, can you hear me better? So the idea is that we also want to have individuals on the platform that are helping to post activities where they are encouraging healthy behaviors. So if you're a physical trainer, being able to, I'm sure many of your members, your clients may have some sort of chronic condition or issue. And so being able to be a part of this network, I think, is very important for individuals to help to connect them with others that are also interested in learning from individuals like you.
How do you make money?
So the business model, again, focuses on a monthly business subscription. So it's a nominal fee. The idea is that fee per user. So as users are engaging on the platform, that's where businesses would pay to have these members as a part of the platform. Again, think of it as extending the health and wellness offering as a business, whether it's a hospital, a large employer, being able to extend your offering into your population through a nominal monthly subscription per user.
Hey, I have two questions for you. The first is, what's your marketing strategy to raise awareness? And then the second question is, how are you building up your network of activities and providers or trainers that are out there? And how are you kind of aggregating that information?
Mm-hmm. Okay, great question. So there are two, so I'll see if I can take both of those. One of the questions I was just mentioning to Jim, I know when you come here you say what you're currently being challenged with or where you want extra help from the community. So I am interested in talking to folks about marketing strategies as we're getting ready to launch. In terms of the activities that fuel the platforms, we already have hundreds of activities that we will have in the platform when we launch. But the idea from a marketing standpoint is, how do you continue to spread the word and get more information out there for others? And remember, it is not just what's currently being done in the platform from a community standpoint, but also that the company itself has. So if you think of a hospital system, they already have certain programs that they offer back at the hospital. And so for folks that do want to travel back to the hospital, that's one great way to get connected with a motivated group. But also there's other activities going on in the community, and how do we pull that all in to the platform.
Every question over here on the side? Just toss it. Right.
that's a long toss. I don't know.
Big man can do it.
All right, that's gonna go overhand. You ready?
Hey, lady.
You can go to school.
So I love the idea, but years ago I had a chance to meet with a lady who ran Duke's Diet Center. She told me a really interesting observation, that virtually everyone who comes to her is extremely knowledgeable about what they should be doing. But there wasn't the reinforcement to get them to do it. So it sounds like you've got a terrific platform that will continue to get them in the right places, get your users in the right places, and maybe to be exposed to the right activities. But the problem is ensuring that they actually will do them on a day-to-day basis. So is there a part of the app that will, is there some gamification, is there some kind of incentive? What is the piece that makes sure that on a day like today, when I want to stay in fit, that I will go and meet my group at the gym, and we will go and walk around the track and have that conversation, and I will pack my lunch to ensure that I'm not eating the excess sugars.
Okay, great. That was an excellent question. And so just to quickly respond to that, I know the ball has to get thrown to the next question. Okay, so I think it's a great one. Behavior change is always hard, but specifically, how do you reinforce behaviors? And so one of the things that I think is really, I mentioned this before, is the group concept, right? So you have your group that's already meeting at the track to go walking. What's going to get you there? So a big part of it, if we take away, insurance incentives, that would be great, but that's not going to be, at launch. So let's just talk about, what can get you there. So being able to know that other people are going to your event is one thing that helps you know that, hey, there's other people doing that same event. There's ways to add notifications in there that help to remind you of the events. Also, being able to have access to sharing. So just taking your example, that sounds like something you actually may not need the app if you already have a regular group that you're walking with at the track. But let's say that you don't, you were just diagnosed, and you're looking for activities and you're maybe unsure of what you want to do. So being able to share that activity with someone that you do trust to go to a new activity is another way to reinforce or encourage people to remove those barriers where they might say, I don't want to go do this, but if I had a friend to go with me to this new event, I might be more willing to do it. So there's sharing. And then lastly, the platform really focuses on variety. So the idea is you could have a reoccurring event, but also you have the opportunity to choose new events. So one of the things the platform is set up for is you do accidentally miss your track meet, your track walk, but you did want to go and do something and you realized it later. I think that happens to everyone. You might wake up and you have your alarm set for 5 o'clock and you're going to go running. It doesn't happen, but then you have this window later in the day where you realize that you can go into the app, and that's where you'll be able to find other activities that are going at the time, place, and pace that you need, and be able to access those activities.
I'm sorry for the interruption, Jerry. Erica, do you want to just quickly log on? We want to get your presentation on that. I'll give Jerry, you can go.
Erica, what's your, you mentioned launch. What's your plan to market? What's your time frame look like? Have you done any kind of beta testing or focus groups? Any analytics around the attraction to this? What the model might look like? Can you give us any idea about what your kind of plan to market looks like?
Yes. So we did a focus group last fall. In terms of launch and our upcoming plans for launching this July. So currently we're in discussions with local businesses. And what we're trying to do is identify early partners, 1 to 2 early partners to be able to launch with this July. So alpha testing will begin in April, and then our plan is to launch a full-scale launch in this area in July. Yes.
Okay, great presentation. So, question I have is, one of my clients almost have a similar product, but how are you going to differentiate your product when you're going and selling this platform to providers and players?
So from a differentiation standpoint, I think was your question. So today, what a lot of these businesses do is they're investing in programs that do not involve in-person activities, and if they do involve in-person activities, a part of that is how do they improve the program offering. So if you take the YMCA for an example, they have a diabetes prevention program that's actually published in PubMed literature as having evidence to support reducing A1C levels. So there's already the support again of having prevention programs improve overall health in the diabetes market. So what BeSpree does is, in terms of how it's differentiated, well, there's not a way that currently connects all the graduates from those programs out into the community, so that's how it's differentiated. You may have paid for a program that's in your community tied to whatever, if it's a hospital, if it's a community center, if it's a wellness program, but you don't have one-stop way of knowing how to connect with others that want to do those healthy behaviors together. And so the uniqueness is that it's extending the offering into the community that is beyond what is in the four walls, that's a lot more costly and requires a lot more resource.
Okay, we have the final question here in the back.
Have you thought about cross promotional items too? Like after 10 walks, I get half off this smoothie.
Right.
You know, is there anything that your payers can do to help other companies as well?
Right, and I'm glad that you used the example of smoothie and not Big Mac. So one of the things that the platform really wants to be known for, right, is trusted in-person activities. But with that said, I think there's a lot of opportunities to provide down the road some other incentives or ways to encourage healthy behavior. So that's a good one.
With that, Erica, thank you very much.
Thank you.